Lioni, nasikia ulijaribu kuwekelea kwingine.
Wacha niwaambie, kama kujaribu kwenda kuwekelea hivi nikasikia bado sikaisha, nikawekelea multibet ikiwa imebaki game moja, nikasikia tena timu yangu imepigwa, kwenda kutafuta cash out. Hakuna. Nikaamua kutoa ile tu pesa kidogo ilikuwa imebaki kwa account. Nikasikia tena withdraw charges ikanipiga. Nikashindwa. Kwani niko itigine?
Jiunge na Betika leo na uenjoy kubet bila bundles, cash out, free withdrawals na so much more. Betika, chukua alama mabingwa.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Radull Live. Yes, another week, another show, another chance to talk sport. We come to you courtesy of Betika, and remember that right now with Betika there's no minimum bet, as in all you need to place a bet with Betika is a bob. You heard right, a shilingi moja. Leta shilingi, I think that's how the song goes. So yeah, make sure you go to betika.com and place your bets. Now, joining me today is a woman I highly respect, simply because she's in the field of sports. Diana Yonah, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Diana, some of us accidentally bumped into the world of sport. Do you know this is the first year, 2021, is the first year that I'm actually 100% into sports. I always had another job. Sport was a side hustle. You have decided it is sports full-time. What made you make that decision, and what got you into deciding that sport is the career I want to take?
First, I was to be an engineer. And since I was playing all kind of sports, being a captain for basketball, I played also at the university, played football, tried tennis. I hated hockey. And most of my brothers, my dad, mom, everybody was playing sports. So the decision came after my the KCSE. I was like telling dad, I want to do journalism. Then at the end, I just said like, oh, I think I'll do sports journalism, not any other, because I surveyed and I was like, there are few ladies. I just knew you because I was like Radull, Shabalala. I'm like, those are the ladies I was looking up to. So I was like, I want to do that. What Carol is doing, that's where I want to go and do. So my dad was like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure, because there are few journalists there. So joining Tusker FC, that's when everything started. I was the only lady in the first media liaison officer for KPL Club, and I said, I'm going on for it, and here I am. Actually, the first time I met you, I think it was about, what, 2-3 years ago? And you were at Tusker FC, you were handling their social media, handling a bit of their marketing. How did you get into Tusker? How did you convince the guys at Tusker that, you know what, I can actually contribute to something in this club? You see, in the university, when they were giving us these stories like, go search for a story, do a story. So I did stories on hooliganism, I did stories about Tusker. So one day when I was searching content for Tusker on the website and Google, then I'm like, there's no content, there are no pictures, there's no story. Then I just went and approached Charles Obin and just went direct to the office. I was like, I think I can do some social media for you guys. At that time, they had like 5 accounts on Facebook and Twitter. They didn't have any website. So I was like, I want to do this job. It was in 2014. And then I was like, okay, you're going to be in as a volunteer. I struggled for 2 years. I was at Supersport. And at the same time, I'm at Tusker since it was just like part-time. So in 2016, that's when they incorporated me fully. And yeah.
But don't you think it's frustrating that up until the last 3-4 years, our clubs, and Tusker is one of the top clubs in this country, defending champions as we speak, didn't see the value of presence on social media at all, or websites as it was before?
Do they even see the essence of it now? They don't. Because actually majority...
Okay, Tusker do.
Tusker do, yes, Tusker do, of course. And the support they've been giving us and the progress that we've seen through the years, it's so evident, yeah. But it's not Tusker alone in KPL or sports in general in the country. A majority of the KPL clubs, they don't even value, like most of the cameras that people are using, it's personal. most of them they're not leveraging on what social media can offer, or how they can just package their product as a club and like push their brand outside there. Most of the CEOs are there, but these people are being undermined. At Tusker, Ulinzi, Bandari will say there's something you're getting, and that will push you. Some of them at Sofapaka and the rest of the clubs, they have just like literally their social media maybe it's at standstill. They'll say like we started and then let's just go home because
they
we're not getting
don't
anything.
see the value. I'll come back to that. I want to first talk about you now. You're in Tusker, but you decide that, you know what, I need to read more. I need to get more knowledge about the management of sport, because I'm sure you've witnessed that people sort of wing it when it comes to our sport, as in anybody can do anything. Anyone can be a journalist. Anyone can be can handle social media. Anyone can manage a club. They don't realize the value of education. How did that transition happen for you?
It wasn't easy, because at first when I go to those meetings, the AGM, and I was sitting with a lot of the guys older than me. At that time I was around 20, 23, 24. So you sit with them and then they look at you like you can't say anything. So one day it's just like, I was just seated at home. I'm like, no, I need to go study. So most of my friends, the media liaison from Zesco then, Katebe, and another lady from Mauritius, after the 2016, when we went to Mauritius for the Champions League. So I met them and I was telling them what I want to do. So after the club licensing, which Tusker was the first club to be given certificate, I said, I just need to be more professional. I need to, when I stand in the room and I give out my views, they will respect my views. And how will they respect my views if I don't know what I'm speaking about? So I said, I'm going for the sports management course and I'll search for it anywhere. So I approached the professor who was dealing with the club licensing stuff. I told him I need to study sports management. And at that time, it was only at Masinde Muliro. Then I was like, is there any in KU or somewhere? I didn't get it because they were like sports science. I needed sports management. So when I decided now to go to South Africa for the CIS course, because for me, I was being wrapped up with the stewards at the stadium. And then I approached KPL and FKF. I'm telling them, is it because I'm a lady so that you cannot guide me like you cannot guard me because all of these guys are here?
I'm already a joke to you.
So I was like, these, for real, because if you see the ladies who are coming to the stadium, they're just sitting at the stands. So most of the time I found myself, I'm the only one sitting close to the players. So they tell me a lot of things that I was like, no, we need to make some changes. And I cannot voice it out because at that time I was still in fear. But once I started like going for studies, interacting with my friends from whatever part of this world, I realized like there's something I have and there's something I've gained, and I know where I stand and I know where I want sports to be.
What are some of the courses you've done?
For me, I went for the sport management CIS in South Africa. Then I upgraded now to the FIFA Master in the one I just finished in July.
When you completed this year.
Yes.
I remember. I saw you at touring FIFA. Was it FIFA headquarters?
Yeah, we went a lot of places, and FIFA was the ultimate one, I would say.
But you're still going for another course. I know you're leaving soon.
Yeah, right now I'm going for training at FIFA. I got the traineeship. It's a traineeship program. It's like internship. So that's what I'm going to do under the marketing role at FIFA.
What are some of the roles you can now take up with the training that you've got?
There's a lot because, first of all, I'm a journalist, and I'll say I'm a certified journalist because, yes, I studied it for 4 good years. So I can be a CEO, I can be in marketing. I did some financial. Finance is really hard, so respect to the finance guys. So I did that, but something to do with events, arranging the events and marketing it out, branding, like anything to do with sports. Right now, I'm free. I can say I'm comfortable to do, because sport is business. It's not only entertainment. It's something which it's so lucrative, but here in Kenya... It
should be lucrative. It's
here
not.
In Kenya, we're still...
Lucrative. What are some of the mistakes that our clubs are making when it comes to the management of clubs? Because I don't know what's wrong. Kenyans, their hearts are in the right place. And they inbox me a lot, and they tell me, Carol, I want to get youth off the street and I've started a club. But I need A, B, C, D, E. I'm saying, then you haven't started a club. You've got my contact and you want me to to handle your club for you. So what are some of the mistakes we're making?
First, I'd say is like the fear of just like stepping up and saying, first, I want to do this and I want to approach this person and I want this and this. Again, there's no plan. Like for me, I'll just say, today I want to start a club. I like bring 40 people or 20 youths and I say, no, this is my club. But is there a plan? Because if you're starting something, you need to plan it strategically. That's why there is strategic plans. So if I'm planning this for 5 years, I know maybe in the first and second year, I'll make a loss, but I'll ensure on the third and fourth and fifth year, I get a bit something. But for us, we want to start something. And I'll say for the management side, I've been like in football for the 7 years that I've been there. In Kenya, took on the umta mentality. The thing that have been done in the past, we still want to maintain what has been done in the past. Time is changing. Technology is here. We don't want to embrace it. Because right now you'll search that you're saying journalists are not coming. Why can't you record and put it on YouTube and TV will pick it up? Anything will, as in even in South Africa, they'll go to YouTube and they'll find it. But for us, we don't want to leverage on that. We're still saying like we are waiting for these sponsors to come from nowhere. They won't come from nowhere if you're not going to step further. And this comes back to that plan. Most of our clubs, they don't have it. I'll say just for fact, and they know it. They're just sitting back there. What are the CEOs doing? Do they have marketing team? Do they even know what a brand is? Do they even know that their club is a brand? So are you building your football club or your entity to be a brand, or you're building it for you to just stay there and just be recognized you're there? If you have that mindset of we just need to be known we're there, then stop. But if you're building because you know where you want to reach, you want to be a brand, you want to be known by being a brand, then continue and have a good plan.
In fact, a lot of people don't understand that the corporates who do come into sport, they're businesses first. It's not CSR.
Yeah.
And yes, we'll have a few, and I know Tusker FC has been like a CSR, like KCB, like Bandari, but it's reached a point where even the organizations who've been running them as CSRs realize that these can actually generate either revenue for us or used as marketing materials.
It's true.
And people are like, Radull tells so and so to sponsor me. What are you giving them in return?
Exactly. Because like in 2016, I remember we had our peer value for Tusker around 26 billion just for that season. Because we were doing marketing, we were moving from one media house to another. We are like doing those road shows because we need to not only like push the Tusker who is our sponsor, but also we need the Tusker FC brand to be recognized because it's a win-win situation. So they can't come to us if we are not going to them and you're not showing them what you can offer. Yes, Tusker is there, but again, we're looking at this, time is changing, the sustainability point of view. How are you going to attract people like UN? How are you going to attract like, as in the vision is too wide, but we are thinking so little. We're thinking like right now, if you ask people about CSR, what do they think about? Only children's home. There's a lot you can do for the society. Like football, actually, like it's a wild thing and it grabs a lot attention of a lot of people. But for us, we're just thinking so little.
There's a lot. It's a side hustle.
Yes, because
weekend activity.
If you step outside there, the community deserves a lot more than what you're giving them. You've gone to, let's say, to the ghetto. They not only need you to go bring food. Some of them don't have water. They don't only need sanitary pads. If they have sanitary pads and don't have water, it's useless. So, as in, if they search for a long-term thing, it's again coming back to the plan. So let's stop thinking small. Let's think big.
The plan. If you were starting your own club today, just take us through the steps of what you would do, what you would need, and how you would sustain it for those 2 years before you start making money.
For me, first, I need professionals. Because if you want to go there, just have a risk and have these professionals run with you. Because yes, I've been seeing on social media guys say, we want footballers to come on board. We want them because they've been in the game. They've been in the game, but remember, they've been playing inside the technical aspect. They can come in as a technical director, but the management is totally different. So if they go to school and get that, I will hire you to my club very well. But if you don't have the papers, club licensing is trying to teach us something. For me, if it's my club and I want to follow the club licensing to the latter, because yes, I'll need a stadium, I'll need this and this. I can as well lease, but I need professionals to run. I cannot do finance. I can maybe be good at marketing or management, but I need people to help me here and there. So by that, when I have that, we'll be a team. It's a matter of teamwork. So as a team, we'll get to strategize and see like this is what we want in this year, and having targets. That's another thing that our clubs don't have. Like, this year we just want to win the league. But on the other side, we have junior teams, but they're just there as a name. Sorry, FKF should step up on that, because if they start a league, or if they want these clubs and follow the club into the latter, they should like maybe form a league like Uganda for the junior side, or else they'll just die after club doesn't come next year. They're like, okay, we have a team, here it is. Yes, you're taken. No, come on, we need sports to grow. So for me, like for the juniors, I just need professionals, and I know with that we'll go forward.
In fact, just explain for those who don't know what the club licensing rules entail, because I'm sure a lot of people watching, they don't really know, but it is the key to making our clubs fully professional. Just break it down for those who don't know.
Yeah, there are like 5 criteria. There is the legal, there is the sporting, administration, and then there is the infrastructure. So the infrastructure deals with the stadium. You need to have an office. You need to have somewhere where if we go there, we know this is Tusker FC premises, not someone's office, not Yonah's office or Tusker brand's office. We need Tusker FC office. So
not finance house,
no.
Hey, Kogalo, my team.
So apart from that, there's the sporting, whereby everybody needs to. We have the CEO should be like having should be qualified. The finance guy should be qualified. I've had people saying papers are nothing, papers are something, or else someone will mess up your accounts. So after the finance, you need to have a junior team which should be playing in the FKF leagues. The team also the medical, and you should have a qualified medical doctor, a qualified coach. I think right now it's CAF A and CAF B. And then apart from that, then we have I spoke about the stadium. The administrative side, you need to have team building, which people don't do. You need to have send your people to, like the personnel should be going for refresher courses, so different courses. And then the finance bit is the tricky one, the one that the other day they were speaking about. You don't need to have debts outside there before, and the finance one is now a must pass. That is the criteria A, and you must pass it. So I don't know how teams pass. You need to have NHIF, you need to have insurance, you need to have your books should like be good. You need to have a budget for the whole season. And if you don't have a budget, or you don't have money which will run the whole season, you need to be relegated or something that the committee will decide. But the question is, do they come and check through the season what happens to these clubs? Because they should keep them on check. I see in Uganda, if you don't have a stadium or you've not fulfill a certain criteria, you won't be able to play the season before it starts. But in Kenya, you'll play.
The sad thing in Kenya, and FKF President Nick Mwendwa himself said it, that if he was to follow club licensing to the letter, we would probably have 5 clubs in the Premier League.
It's very true.
Which is a very sad truth. And the question is, what are we doing to try and change that and make sure more than just the institutional clubs and are actually adhering to this?
For me, I will say, let them do it in phases. Let them not just like doing like boom, you must fulfill everything. It can't come just like that so easy. So if this year FKF say like, yeah, we are running club licensing, but in phases, this year all teams, for you to qualify, you must have your offices or have a stadium or
start
have
very basic.
Yeah.
One step by
exactly. So next year again, now you must have this. So that club which had that will be having it for the whole season. So it's now theirs. So next year they'll now review and now say we are on the second phase. All the clubs will have this and this. And that's how St. Mary's Chitende right now is hosting CAF League matches. Right now. And where are we? Where are we?
I want us to take a break. But we still have lots to talk about. I want to talk about women's football, women's sport as well. And yeah, you've heard it from Diana. Get the education if you want to be manager in sport so that we can actually go to the next level. See you after the break.
Shushu, wamesema hakuna harusi.
Kwa nini? Hapana.
Shushu.
Bila harusi lazima itaendelea. Nani anasababisha harusi?
Kofi. Ike Brian record to streamiwe do. Nasema Safaricom iko na free data kila siku. Sasa tunaweza kustream hii wetu.
Hi, Shosho.
You make it the bride.
Pata hadi 500 MB free kila siku. Piga star 544 hash na uchague unlock free data. Mwelekeo ni internet.
Welcome back. This is Radull Live. Today I'm with Yonah. Diana, I don't even know how to describe you, Diana. You do everything in sports. Here is a lady who decided that sport is not something we're going to wing as sports management. She's going to read, she's going to study, she's going to get her qualification, make her contacts, because contacts are so important, and try and take sports in this country to the next level. Yeah? So important. I want us to go into talk about women in sport, both behind and in front of the scenes. Let's first talk about Harambee Starlets. I know you've been watching them. I know you're a fan. I also stalk your timeline. You're the only one who stalks me. I stalk you back. And you're very supportive of women in sport. What's your assessment of how Harambee Stars is faring? Starlets is faring?
They're getting there. Beating South Sudan is it's good. It's a bravo. At least it gives them motivation. But they still have a way to go. Being in I was kept in the football women's committee, so we still have a long way to go. We still have a lot of things to do. Results just don't come like this, because our opponents, like I was speaking with somebody, they take their ladies to camp very early. The same way they do prepare for our men's sports, that's how we should do to our ladies. It's a sport. If it's an NGO, they need to do the same thing for the men and for the ladies. If it's not an NGO, then you will say this is somebody's money which is just going to the men's side. But you have no choice. You have to do the same thing.
We don't really have a strategic plan for the women. I mean, I was hosting Neddy the other day, Martha, Karimi the other day, and I was saying they've never even seen 250 million for the team. They don't know what it looks like, you know? Yet, we've seen them consistently over the last 5-6 years getting to Sakafa finals, winning Sakafa. We saw what Vihiga Queens did the other day. They won the regional qualification for Sakafa. So that they go to the Women's CAF Champions League that will be held in Cairo. So they seem to be doing it even without the support. So I always ask myself, imagine if we had a strategic plan for the women. What are the possibilities?
You know, they did launch the strategic plan when I was away. And it was a time whereby I was also analyzing the strategic plans of all federations in the whole world. At that time, because I was supposed to do, my project was about women's football. So I was looking at our strategic plan, and I was looking at what I've been analyzing, and I'm looking again at the targets or where I want to see women's football in Kenya. It's tricky. I saw that it was just like on paper, because it's good, it looks colorful, it looks nice, it looks good to launch and bring the media, but how are you going to implement
Implementation.
Yeah, because you'll say you want marketing, but are you doing it right now? As in, what's the timeline? We didn't see a timeline in the strategic plan. If you have it right now, we don't have a timeline. We need to have a timeline, like by this date, this needs to be done. Yes, I spoke with a VP she's chasing around some sponsors for the ladies, but we need to act. We need to show these ladies. And again, for the clubs, they also have something to do. Let's not only look at the federation, at these clubs branding themselves like to be professional. Before you get the money, like how are you going to use it? If you look at the clubs, it's like Umta comes in again. It's my club, I just formed it, so I don't have professionals, or I don't want to hire people, I don't have a plan for it, so let it just play. The federation will give me money. But as a club, if you want help, show that you want help and you're eager to get it. If you look at Kibera, what they're doing, it's massive. Kibera clubs, as in, I'm just seeing something which is KPL even is not doing. So for the ladies, for them,
Go-Go Boys and
Go-Go Boys,
Skibera Black Stars.
yes,
Yeah.
they're doing something which KPL, should ring a bell, because some clubs don't even have the buses or something. So it's something they're doing. So back to the ladies, they need to also show that they're willing to get it. And there's a time I complained, because if you could go to a women's Premier League match, you find they're wearing some jerseys, donated jerseys, maybe from Reading or from UK, Europe, whatever. So if a journalist comes on board, take the pictures, then come on, I was like, no, this is not even, which league is this? As in, what will you write a story? Because you can't see it. That's not the photography you want to see. So we complain, at least right now, they're back to their own jerseys, but the clubs also need to step up. And for Nady and the rest of the ladies, they also need to brand themselves. Because yes, time is going. You won't be waiting for the federation for long. If they're not acting, there's something also the club should show, and the players should show, like, there's an urgency, we need this.
We're doing our side. I actually want to give plaudits to people like Nedi, people like Corazon, people like Martha Karimi, Rachel Muema, Essie Akida. We had Essie here the other day, because they've listened, and they've begun to take their personal branding, their personal social media more seriously. But most of them, it's after I've had a talk with them, and they call me every day. I've been offered this, can I do this? What should I post? What should I do? Some of them have just run with it and are actually doing a really good job. Ulinzi Starlets, the official handle, Vihiga Queens, the official handle. Thika Queens can do better. But Rachel, who's a player there, does really well. Good. But I wish, as you say, all the clubs would realize that we also have a responsibility as we approach these corporates, because right now they also want to see your digital footprint. They don't just want to see your performance on the pitch. If I come and sponsor Thika Queens, what am I getting in return? Where's your fan base? What are you doing as a club to recruit your fans? And that's where a lot of clubs are not realizing that corporates need customers. Their customers are your fans and your followers, period. Branding, it's that simple when it comes to marketing.
Because FKF will come and give you, like, let's say if you want the 500, then what are you going to do with the 500 now? It will come back to the team. They'll be like, there's a huge amount we've never received. So how are you going to do it then? They're like, they spend it without knowing how to spend it. So it should come, like, for me, I would advise, like, before any season, they should sit down with these clubs, and these clubs should be serious if they're going to run the clubs. The way they approach FKF, it should be like, this is the federation and this is us. We need to come together and see how we want to push women's football to grow, because these are the stakeholders. So FKF should realize these are the stakeholders, these are the players, these are the clubs, these are the journalists. So with that, they'll know where we want to reach. The journalists, how we want them to help us push for women's football, how we want to market our sports. Because in the past, like, let's say 5 years, people were like, is there women's football in Kenya? Right now, they know like it's there, because people like
Navy again. We
have
a 2-tier league. Whether the men have a 5-tier league, we only have a 2-tier league. It's literally Premier League and Division 1.
It's going to be tough, because right now, if you see these teams that don't have money, let's say Vihiga or Ulinzi can manage to move from Mombasa to
Vihiga, the county's really stepped up.
So what about these other clubs? If there is no sponsor, that's the challenge in Africa. That's the challenge also, like in also America, because the travel issue is going to be a problem. You'll go for one match, the second match, the third match is like finances, walkovers. Again, we'll get back to that.
I have a challenge for you and Tusker FC. There's the women's team.
By the way, it was in our strategy, our 5-year strategy, and the year 2022 we need to have. And then CAF comes in and say,
but they're also sponsors of this show, so I need to be nice.
No, okay, because it was in our strategy, and we spoke about it, and next year we were supposed to be launching our women's, and we've been speaking with a lot of clubs, a lot of women coaches, because we want to incorporate it. And from up there, we've been having this thing, because for us, gender is something that they're really supporting, and they need more women in sports, or more women in the club. So for us, it's going to be a plus. Even when CAF say they're going to introduce it, it's a good thing, because it's already in the plan. So it's just a matter of now implementing what was in the plan. And
you've had Tusker FC women's team is coming up.
Yes, I'll say because I'll say I'm there, and I'm going to push for it, because it's something which I'm saying it's going to be something great. Imagine Ulinzi playing Tusker, or maybe Bandaria form a team and then they're playing. This will be a nice clash. Which
Yeah, Ulinzi Starlets versus Tusker FC.
Yes, it's
ladies, queens, whatever you want to call them. Strikers, I don't know.
We'll find a name, but I'm looking forward to that. It was there, and I know the CEO, chairman, the brand team, everybody is in support of that. That's the good thing about my club, because they supporting women's football. Even they come and watch women's football, the Women Premier League. So we are in for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting there.
It's a challenge I'm taking you up on, by the way. Tusker FC women, it's so long overdue. I have a challenge for you. FKF, if you were to get that top seat, what would be first on your agenda? Let me rephrase. When you go for that top seat, what would be first on your agenda?
Professionalism at FKF. That is number one. We don't want Umta to run it. Look at Magogo, what he did. That is marvelous. You're my friend, but if you're not qualified, please. Because you want football to move. It's been long overdue. So that is number one thing. If you don't want to work, please just go and do something else. But if you want to work, we'll discuss that. So that is number one agenda. Number two, I need clubs to be also professional. I'm going to set standards from top. Then now who are following me, you need to also be on that standards. Then now we'll be on the same level. We'll speak the same language. But if you show me Umta, they say football is politics. But if you show me Umta from the top, I say like, at the bottom, it's still the same. Let it run. And club licensing will be strict. That is something which, to me, it's going to benefit the clubs. So if we just like take it up and say like, let's look at it on a positive way, not negative way. And women's football, for me, women's football, we've not done justice to it. And not only that, there are also things, they need to change a lot of things. If you look at the rule book, if you look at the committees that are being formed, like who is in it, how are they going to do it, as in it's not out in the public. These are things which, if I go to the website, they need to be there, I download and I check and I'm like, this and this, I can apply for this, I can do this and this. But it's not out of the public. It's a public property, it's a public entity, which you need to be knowing a lot of things inside there. But right now, go and check even the financials or the AGM things are there. They're not there. Maybe the last is in 2015 or 2016. So they need to just update a lot of things. And women's football, since it was out, if I get there, we need both men, women, and marketing. There's a time I was reading the financial report and I saw marketing was given, marketing and communication 1% of the budget. Yes. I still have that to date because I remember when I was doing my project again in South Africa, that's when I was analyzing now the financials. Yes, so I'm like, okay, 1%, what will this 1% do? And you need to market this brand. You're saying people are not, the league is not lucrative, the league is not known, blah, 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 all those, but you're giving us 1%.
You will never get money back without marketing.
It's just impossible. Yeah. It's impossible. And then you want to use interns. Stop using interns to give you what you want and not paying them. I had a statement, someone saying like, we are going to use interns to do this and this. Come on. No. Don't stop using, even the term use is bad. These guys, they have gone to school to acquire knowledge. If they're good, just search for somebody who's professional in that. And it will help you a lot.
Last week, I was busy doing my show on Saturday and I was following the Harambee Starlets game on their Facebook page. And when I posted that Neddy had scored, I think they said Neddy scored a hat-trick.
A hat-trick.
Then Kekeroy, I'm sure you know Kekeroy, I call him my football encyclopedia. He told me, Radull, you're wrong. Neddy only scored 1 goal. So I sent him the screenshots from the Harambee Starlets Facebook page. And I told him, I believe you more than I believe them, but this is what they've posted. Now, unfortunately, Harambee Starlets have interns running that handle who don't even know the players. You're running Harambee Starlets social media and you don't know the players. And you've given the wrong information. So it's quite unfortunate, as you're saying. Just hire professionals, people who've taken an interest in learning the job before they just do it.
And also, interning is not bad, but who are you bringing as an intern?
It's not bad, but you never give them the front row seats.
Yes.
You just, not in a bad way, but...
They're there, because for me, like, interns are there to learn. I'm going to be an intern. But why am I going to be there? Because I need to help the organization move from one level to another as an intern. So if I'm there and I'm making my mistakes as an intern, who is going to hire me? Because the next step, because I need to be on the payroll. or I need to do my 100% to get another job somewhere. But if I do my silly mistakes and also do a job that you love, as an intern, you know you're going to somewhere because you love to do that. So you need to do it with passion. So if it's not there, please also stick at home. Please stay at home because we need somebody who is going to do something good. We need good in our sport.
When it comes to marketing, especially of the men's game, I wish, and I don't know, you can correct me, you're the one with the brains. when Nick and his team are going out to market for the Premier League, they should have a percentage that automatically goes to the Women's League. I don't know if we do that, because I see we receive all this money. Okay, Bet King came and left, but when there were title sponsors, I don't know whether we have a plan within FKF to have it trickle down and tell them, you know what, if you're sponsoring the men's league, this percentage must go to the women's league automatically.
I think the last, for the Bet King, they say that. Okay, I wasn't around, and I was also chosen to be in the committee, and again, I was not around. I've never sat in any of the meetings. So for me, that should be automatic. I agree with you. And because, like, for real, the past league, the one we had Zone A and Zone B, it was very competitive, and we could leverage on that opportunity. But again, what was the prize money? So it's again
350,000 shillings.
The women's committee should come in there. Should come in there and fight for these women. And fight because, yes, the marketing has gone out as such a first sponsor, the team is there and we want this percentage. So are we following it up? Are we doing this for them? Because this is for us now fighting for the Women's Premier League and the women's sports, women's football. So we don't need to just wait for those committee meetings to stand up. We need to like fight before the meetings. We need to go there, disagree to agree for the betterment of this women's football. So for me, it's a challenge to the committee because Nick, yes, can go and do this, but this committee needs to step up, needs to now implement that strategy that they did launch. If that's marketing that came or that sponsor that came in, and we need more sponsors. Come on,
we need more sponsors. You know, we had these awards the other day. I was hosting the Betikana Community NSL Awards, and then there were the FKF Premier League Awards as well. There were no awards for women, and then people were criticizing the Betikas of this world. But I'm like, they're doing what they can. They're not the only corporate in this country. Where are the corporates? Where are the corporates who can come in and say, you know what, we want to do an award ceremony for the women? But as you've mentioned as well, clubs, what are you giving the corporates in return? Because they're businesses. They want to sell bottles of water. They want to sell phones, whatever it is. Are you, on the other side, delivering on your marketing promise to a corporate?
Yeah, like Kibera, for them to acquire Rubies, there's something they've been doing.
Yeah.
That even maybe a KPL team has been struggling to get a sponsor. So how do you like package yourself? So if these ladies package themselves well, and also the federation package themselves well, it won't be just knock the doors. That's another thing. Do you know, like, I'll say, and I'll stand to be corrected, anybody can correct me anywhere, how many clubs or how many CEOs can develop a nice proposal to a sponsor, or even go and sit in a meeting, in a board meeting, and convince a sponsor, like, I need to sponsor this because I want this and this, and look at this and this. I'll need to be challenged. One should just come about and say, yes, we can do it. Very few can do that. We are waiting for me, like I knock at your Carol and say, Carol, you know, I have a club, we need balls, we need this and this, can you give us this and this? And then I sit down. You ask me like, okay, if I give you 1 million, what are you going to do with it? Then now there I'm like, I don't have any plan. Maybe I'll tell you like, we are going to market, we're going to put you the thing they'll tell you, during our matches we'll put you banners, blah, blah, blah. That's not all. A sponsor needs something concrete. So that's another thing that people are not doing.
People don't know. And it's also not writing a PowerPoint presentation and some buzzing it to 100 companies.
No, you need to also change. Like, people just need to wake up. It's stop thinking small, as in let's think broad for the sport.
I was once called by a very big corporate. Sorry, I have a call that has to be taken. I was once called by a very big corporate, this is a couple of years ago, and they said, we received this PowerPoint presentation from KPL. We know you're involved. Can you come and explain it to us? And I'm like, you know, I'm not a part of the management. I don't know, but I will come. I will come and I will explain it. And we did. And I called a few other people within the sport. But they said what they received from that time, it was the KPL office, not FKF. it's just a PowerPoint presentation and we're not sure. We're not sure. So explain it to us. And we went and we sat and they were ready to come in as sponsors of the league. And then AFC Leopards went and had their elections that never end well. And there were photos in the media the next day and they backed out. So unfortunately, but it goes back to the point, do you know how to send proposals? Do you know what to put in the proposal? Do you know how to present the proposal to the corporates? Which, it's great, as you say, to have footballers come back and manage the sport, but are they qualified?
Yeah, it's so tricky. I've been seeing online people speaking. It's hard. It's not easy because people don't sleep. A good manager will even wake up at 4. I'm like, my players need a new partnership, a new something. So I won't sleep because I need that to happen. But if I sleep and wake up at 10, my players have already trained. I don't know if they have the right kits or the right socks. I'll be like, who am I? Because that's why, again, club lessons come on point and say, like, a CEO should be there in the office. Like, he should be hired, not just...
And he should be a qualified CEO.
Qualified CEO. So if you're there and you're just taking it for granted, come on, you need to up your game, whoever you are. So just up your game, because for us to go to the next level, Carol, we don't need just a small mindset. These sponsors, these corporates, they're there. And they're just waiting someone to knock and convince me, like, why should I pump in 2 million to you and not 2 million to rugby? Because sports are there. And also, remember, there are things like these music apps. They also need that money. Entertainment, things like Netflix, they're also giving us competition. Why should I not pump my money this side and give you that money? So you need to think very fast. So we are sleeping.
Development of the game. If you were in that FKF seat, what more would you do? Because I think we're losing a lot. We have the raw talent and then you bump into a league. But I don't know if we have a proper development strategy and steps.
We don't have it. I'll say, even if we have it, it's not that proper development. In terms of the technical aspect, in terms of everything, development is still low. Because yes, there's this, they brought in the academies and everything. Our academies are not even academies. If you define academy, everybody will just say we don't have any academy in Kenya.
Yeah.
Academy is a big word. So there's people using academies. You need to change a little bit. So as in the development aspect of the game, I used to think at it this way. This is the sporting aspect, this is the community aspect, and this is also the finance aspect. If I touch the community and I do things to the community, I'll get talent from that same community. That same community will come and support my programs, and I'll be getting money from that same community. So I'm supporting the community is coming to my game, I'm selling my jerseys to the community because as in those people will accept me. But for us, we are distancing ourselves to the community. We are not doing things related to the community. So
yet that is where your bread and butter lies.
Yes. It's just like the sustainability point of view in terms of development. Like football, you cannot like remove from that sustainability point of the business, because if you want your business to be there for like years, my sponsors EABL, what are they doing? They're touching the community. They're doing the boreholes. They're going to run. They are helping people here and there, which I'll say they're doing, but I love my sponsors.
Partners.
They're there.
What is it called, partners?
So,
because they're giving you something and you're giving them something.
So and that's how FKF, I'll say the development side, it's not only about sports. We don't just want every day you're telling us about people playing the game. There's more about the game. There's what is SAFA doing. It's more than me just going there to see guys play the sport. What are you doing besides just organizing these games? So how are you touching us, the community? We're paying taxes and it's also running the federation. So how are you going to give back to these people? Yes, it's a federation. You need to run the league. That's the core thing. But you need these fans to come to the Harambee Stars game and pay the 500.
They have to feel that they belong.
Yes. We need to feel like this Harambee Stars is ours. What Tanzanians are doing, they are coming to the stadium because they feel this is part of us. Because the TFF is not just sitting down there, because they are having structures and they're touching people from Tanga to Dar es Salaam to Moshi, everywhere. People in Turkana, they're feeling that they're not part of this federation because they're like, they don't come to us. Do you even know if there's a league there? Are there women playing there? Who has gone there to see? So development, like, so as in, that's what I'm saying, development, even if it's there, maybe it's just in Nairobi, Kisumu, Mombasa, But up the other sides, there are people there. There are people with talent. Nobody goes there. Nobody touch that community. So someone from Isiolo cannot come and say, like, I'm part of this, because there's nobody in my area who has been there. You've not touched us. So development is just not a matter of us saying we are forming academies or these technical centers, not or just bringing coaches. Coaches is fine, they'll bring them. It's more about touching. They'll buy in everything you do if you touch the community. That is the central point. Then they'll come and watch
your games, and they'll buy your merchandise, and the money will circulate.
Yes.
Diana for FKF president. Can you stop disturbing me? I have found you someone. So we have to wrap, but thank you so much for coming. I wish you the best. How long is this next course you're doing?
It's 6 months. It's subject to extension. I'm just going to give my 100% and represent Kenya, continuing as much as possible.
It's a FIFA sponsored course.
Yeah, it's now going to intern as a marketing in the commercial division. So I'm really excited. So sometimes I just don't feel
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for our game, because I know you'll come back with whatever you learn and whatever you experience and the contacts you make to build this game. Yeah, that's actually my big motivation, because I need to see Africa rise to the next level. We need to compete Africa and Asia. Like, we have a lot of people who love football and love sports, but you just not tap them or bring them on board. So that's something. You've not made it attractive for them to join the campaign, whatever it is.
Europe people love football. They love sports from a young age. How do you attract? We don't even have merchandise for these kids, because this kid will rise up and say, I've been supporting Kogalo up to this age, so maybe I'll go and play and be a Kogalo fan or something. But right now, we don't have it.
One of Arsenal. Dana, thank you so much for coming. Thank you. This chat has been long overdue, but you're never in the country. But I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best in your course. Keep in touch. Tell us what you're doing, and tell us when you're back. We'll have another conversation and see what we can do.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully by that time we can get a new president. I'm going to be attacked. Well, thank you guys. Thank you as usual for watching Radull Live. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Very educative today. And we'll see you next week on the same show.